Last time on Don Hines Animated. So now you have some context as to why and how I got this job in the first place and how badly I would have wanted it all to work out. But alas, instead of being the solution of my dreams, it was the beginning of a nightmare. Now, I titled this video, How I Got Fired from McDonald's, which implies that I was actually fired from my job for being a terrible employee. Which I was, not gonna lie. If there was a checklist consisting of all the reasons to fire someone, I definitely had most, if not all of them checked off. But technically, I could have also just as easily named this video Why I Quit My Job at McDonald's. In a way, my breakup with McDonald's was just like my breakup with my high school sweetheart. Because in both situations, if you were to ask who broke up with who, it kinda depends on who you ask. I definitely broke up with her. This is what I mean. If you were to pull out my employee record from McDonald's, my file would definitely say not rehirable, indicating that they did indeed fire my ass. But in actuality, I stopped showing up to work well before they stopped putting me on the schedule, which in my book counts as me quitting. That said, I probably wasn't that far away from being fired anyways. For instance, I sucked at everything. There was literally nothing that I could do well. I actually felt bad for the managers whenever I showed up to work. Because the moment any of the shift managers saw me, I could just see the cogs turning in their heads as they try to figure out where they could put me so that I would do the least amount of damage to the crew's ability to get shit done. You see, regardless of where you work in the food industry, whether it be for an excuse of a sandwich shop like McDonald's or for an upscale panty dropper like Benny Hanna's, the success of your crew boils down to one thing, and that thing is timing. Every good crew at any food establishment has one thing in common, and that is that they all run like a well-tuned clock. Every gear needs to be turning at just the right speed for everything to run smoothly. Timing is key. One little hiccup in the machinery can set the whole thing off track. Well, turns out adding a 16-year-old Don Hines to your restaurant crew was like taking your finely tuned clock and beating the ever-living shit out of it with a sledgehammer. It honestly didn't matter where you put me. Oh, you want to put me on the grill? Sure, just don't expect any fresh burgers when you run out, dude. Cause you can bet your ass they will not be ready. Or even better, what's that you say? The Angus beef burger tray's full and we don't need any more because we probably won't sell any for a little while. Well, here's 10 more. Sorry. Oh, say what now? You want me to make some cookies? Okay, just know that you're probably gonna have to ask someone else to do another tray after me because I'm definitely gonna forget about them in the oven. So you might as well just take 24 cookies out of the freezer and just throw them in the garbage because you're basically doing the same thing. Come again? You actually want me to assemble the burgers? Have you lost your mind? I mean, sure, I'll do it. That is, of course, if you're okay with waiting 5 minutes per burger, because I definitely don't remember how to make any of this shit, except the McChicken. I will definitely be spending an extra 2 minutes trying to find the instructions on this little picture thing above the sandwich table, so, yep. Sorry. Eventually, the managers did figure out my calling. I became the bread guy. You see, when you work on the sandwich table at McDonald's, your responsibilities include, but are not limited to, checking for new orders, making sure the bread trays were full, toasting the bread, and assembling the sandwiches. I was so bad at everything else that the managers decided to take the two simplest responsibilities of the sandwich makers and give them to me. So for entire shifts, my job was to make sure that the bun trays were always full and to toast the buns for the new orders. And whenever it got slow, I would just clean. That was pretty fucking sad. I also stole a lot. Wait, Wait, let me explain. Almost everyone who worked there stole. And no, I don't mean money. I'm talking about food. Whether it was squeezing 13 nuggets into a 10-piece box, or putting an extra patty and some bacon on a burger, or my personal specialty, smuggling cookies into your pocket when the manager wasn't looking, stealing was just a part of the culture. And as all of you should know by now, that Don Hines will always do it for the culture. And although I might have been one of the worst employees McDonald's has ever hired when it came to actually doing my job, I was a god at stealing cookies. At any given time, I had at least 5 cookies in either of my pockets, and I never got caught once. And I know what some of you are thinking. Don, in your Pokemon video, you said that you've only ever stolen one thing in your life. What the hell is all this about? Listen, like I said, everybody stole. So it's like, if everyone steals, is anyone really stealing? Yes! So those are all of the legitimate reasons for why McDonald's should have fired me, but they didn't. And even though it sucked working there because I was just so bad at my job, that wasn't the reason why I actually quit. I quit for the same reason most people quit their shitty jobs, which surprisingly isn't because the job is shitty. Most people who quit their shitty jobs do so because of the shitty people they work with. I've actually never met someone who quit their job because they were just fed up with the pay, or didn't like the hours, or didn't like the work. I mean, those may have been contributing factors, but the main reason, the straw that will always break the camel's back, is some dumb ass person. Whether it be a boss, a coworker, I mean, even one really bad customer can be enough to just say, nope, fuck this, I'm out. So for me, it was my fellow staff that motivated me to quit. Here are the 3 things that made me quit. 1. I worked at a McDonald's in Broward County, Florida. And if you know anything about South Florida, you know that it is flooded with Hispanics. So naturally, most of my coworkers were Hispanic. Now, that's perfectly fine. I have no problem with Hispanics. A lot of my best friends are Hispanic. Latinas are without a doubt some of the most beautiful women on the planet. I know this, I've dated 2 of them. And next to Jamaican food, Spanish food is that fuego. You see, I mentioned the fact that they were Hispanic because my Spanish co-workers would just constantly talk shit about me in Spanish. And you know what? I probably deserved it because I was pretty ass at my job, but at least have the decency to do it behind my back. I mean, I would see 2 of my coworkers look right at me, then turn to each other, say some telenovela mumbo jumbo, and then have a good ass laugh. And although I didn't know what they were saying, I sure as hell knew what throwing shade looked like. And the second reason I quit was because I worked for the devil. And you might think that the devil isn't real, and if he is, it's a large red half goat half man Baphomet looking thing. Well, nope, you're wrong. The devil is real, and she is a 4'8" bitter middle-aged Spanish woman who lives in South Florida. If a black hole were to just spontaneously form in the middle of South Florida, I guarantee you that it was in fact a result of so much fucking evil being compacted into such a small body. That kind of density is bound to hit a critical mass eventually, and when it does, that McDonald's is gonna be ground zero, believe that. I could go on and on about how terrible it was working for this woman. She would yell and snap at people. She'd call people names. She was the type of person to fuck with your lunch schedule just because you pissed her off that day, which was every freaking day for my incompetent ass. I would have an 8-hour shift and she would make me take my lunch an hour after I got there. Tell me some bullshit about it's the only way the schedule would work out for everyone. Shut up! I remember this one time she straight up held my check hostage until the end of the shift on payday just because she knew I wanted to see how much I got. And I know she was just being a bitch to me because everybody else got their checks. So what the fuck, man? But the thing that made me realize that I did not want to be there anymore was when I saw a fellow employee do something that every customer fears will happen to them when they get food from a place like McDonald's. I saw a coworker fuck with someone's food. So this guy, let's call him Jose. Why? 'Cause he's Spanish. Duh, don't think too hard about it. So Jose was making a sandwich and I was on the toaster. As he was making the sandwich, he accidentally drops the top bun on the ground. I then watch him as he reached down, picked up the bun, and continued to make the sandwich. Now, I was 16, this dude was easily 25, and apparently had been working there for quite a while. He was swole, spoke almost no English, shit, he barely spoke, period. He had face tattoos, that is, tattoos on his face. So basically, I wasn't gonna say shit. Instead, I walked over to the pickup area, retrieved the contaminated sandwich, threw it away, and then made a fresh one myself. So if you ever ordered a cheeseburger from a McDonald's in Pembroke Pines, Florida, the one by the LA Fitness, in the month of October in 2011, and it took hella long to get there and was made incorrectly, you're fucking welcome. Because there's a good chance that that one was for me. And although you were probably disappointed when you got it, at least you know it wasn't previously used to clean the McDonald's floor before you ate it. That was the last shift I ever went to. I called out every shift after that, and then they took me off the schedule. So that's how I technically got fired from McDonald's. Moral of the story, as was once said by a very, very funny man, fuck McDonald's. What's up, fam? Thank you for watching another Don Hines animation. Make sure to like this video for your boy and subscribe if you haven't. Big shout out to everyone who has been supporting my new skit series, Days Before Tomorrow. Some of y'all are saying that it could even be a show on TV, man. Now, I ain't gonna say all that, but I really do appreciate y'all, and it makes me happy to see the fam messing with it. If you haven't checked it out, what you waiting on, man? Go check that shit out. I know I said I wasn't gonna drop this video till the 8th, but I'm trying to turn up now, so I dropped it today. Let me know what topic you want to hear me talk about next. Give your boy some ideas. Thank you for liking and subscribing, hitting the notification bell while you're at it. I love y'all, and I'll see you soon.